Welcome back for the first round of top 8 of this final TNE before the Invitational next week. We have a very hell of a top 8 for you and a very good first match, in my opinion. We have Phoenix, who is going to be on the TJP Alessi deck, that is the ABCDEF deck, and ThufirHawat, who is going to be on an Argenport Minotaurs deck that is very similar and also very different from what we've seen from people like Stormguard, who, speaking of which, has made the top 8 with their 3-2 record, even after the loss on camera last round. Going to be playing off against Martin there, the bottom of the bracket. Apple Chips versus Almost, with some Relic v Relic action there. And Jez and Beowulf, both of which we've seen throughout the day. Jez on that Xenon Reanimator deck, and Beowulf on the Xenon mid-range deck. Any thoughts on this bracket, Ilya?
Well, top 8 definitely looking, very nice. Apple Chips versus Almost hot relic on relic action. And this match, let's see if the excellent aggro deck can get through, the classic Argenport mid-range deck. Beyond that, congratulations to Stormguard for notching that top 8 and continuing his run. And let's see if he gets enough points to head to the Invitational.
Absolutely. Not being too familiar with his exact point breakdown, I can't speak for sure, but I would imagine a 3-2 record probably not good enough to bump up his points at all. Given that Stormguard has played a good majority of these, I'd imagine 3-2 is probably his worst record that he's had so far. So probably going to need this win if he wants to start bumping up points at all. And anything after that, obviously, as well, going to be very helpful. I believe, if I remember correctly, 18 points is going to be that big cutoff.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Stormguard still slugging it out.
Yep. But into our actual match here, as I'm just being told, Stormguard's worst was actually 2-3. So he does already have 18 points, and anything else from here is just going to be a bonus at securing this spot.
Very nice.
But into the match, we got Plunk coming down on turn 2 for Phoenix.
We're gonna see his Styre's Eyes come out, I have to imagine. No free cards, please.
Yes. It's just Styre's Eyes, probably going to cycle that Justice Sigil. No real reason for an Adjudicator's Gavel to come down, and nothing else to give the Crown Watch tactic to.
Yep, just a 2-2 flyer for 2 with a Scout. And alrighty, ThufirHawat in the tank.
Thinking very hard about whether to keep. Chose to top. I just barely missed seeing what that was with the hand cam. As a very powerful potential turn here from Phoenix.
Sorry, losing the Plunk. The Valor will mean to attack can no longer block the Plunk. Plunk gets in. Plunk is so safe.
Plunk is incredibly safe right now.
So that's what got left on top. Relentless Gorehorn. Okay, so Lunar Claw. Obviously, the attack has to be pumped. Who are we taking out? Okay, Plunk not safe. In comes the Styre's Eyes.
Plunk not safe at the moment. Also, Plunk not chosen to have contracted last turn. Once every bit of power that they can get, Phoenix does right now, especially given the contents of their hand.
I think this is looking like a mirror image. Could be wrong.
Mirror image, definitely, in my opinion, is very strong. No board wipes from the side of ThufirHawat in their deck. No harsh rule, no nothing remains. The only thing they have is spot removal. And so a mirror image on an Alessi would have been very powerful there, just generating 2 bodies that they would have to 1-for-1 twice to deal with. Don't have the mana to do that right now.
Yep. Yep, Sharp Tactician gonna shut Alessi down. back to Phoenix. I think Derry's ult is activated. Yep, there's the Derry ult
Yeah, Dairy ult gonna get activated here. A
into a
fairly
Twilight
sizable.
Hunt.
Yeah, and Derry Cathane is a dinosaur by proxy, given the
Yes,
rider. As this,
explore riding a dinosaur. So both unit types are included.
yeah, and a mirror image on Derry Cathane next turn is
Probably seals the deal.
very powerful with a killer being refreshed on the mirror image copy and the overwhelm. This is a potential lethal angle. Uh, Exploit likely has to come down here to stop that, but no information about that from Thufir's side. So might think that they're safe and choose to commit more to the board.
I would call it safe because that's yeah. So Phoenix still has lethal damage if completely unblocked. The question is, do we see the Styre's Eyes come out with the Crown Watch tactic on the other Styre's Eyes? No, we see the exploit. That's gonna hit the mirror image.
Yep, will keep them very safe for right now. No killer refresh on the Derry Cathane copy, no overwhelm damage coming through. Still a bit of a rough spot. 11 life, not a whole lot to work with. That stutter step representing potential taking away of a blocker. But unless something off the top here, double power, game is going to continue.
So what is the play for Phoenix? Is it to stutter step out the I think it's to stutter step out the Styre's Eyes and force the Jade Horn to chump.
Stutter step out the Star's Eyes, force the Jade Horn to chump. I am not sure about that because you force a chump either way. Uh,
Well, this just trades.
it just trades, but it trades 2 for 1 and gets two. Very importantly, gets 2 blockers off the table and doesn't. Phoenix doesn't obviously know this, but without the everything on the table, that Styre's Eyes Crown Watch tactic is looking a bit worse because it's going to be harder to stabilize Crown Watch tactic in a 0-3 than it is a 3-3 or a 2-2. The Jade Horn is a very good draw, though, with the 3 extra armor in this scenario.
Mm-hmm. Just keep that life total up because Phoenix is on fumes.
I've got their position.
Because if you're ThufirHawat, you saw the stutter step, and by virtue of Phoenix just not deploying anything else with the 4 power, you know that they're whiffing. That other card is most likely a power.
Absolutely. You know it's either a power or something irrelevant to the board state. Something irrelevant to the board state. Not a lot in this deck at this moment. Fearless Crescendo, the only thing I could maybe think of wanting to hold on for a fast spell, but even then, without casting it on the end step, you know they are just holding power.
Okay, so Derry swings in again. I think is Star Step a fast spell?
Stutter Step
Yeah,
is
of
a
course.
fast
Of
spell.
course.
Yeah,
What am I
and
saying?
so makes the smart double block because if anything blocked Derry Cathane and it was just a single block, Stutter Step comes through, Overwhelm happens, and then Lethal happens.
Right.
So this coming out, still gonna get in for 3, still going to kill off the front half of that revenge unit.
And Sharp Tactician, very timely as a pickup. Because there's both Killer and Overwhelm there. This is going to be a 6/6 Sharp Tactician.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get not only the 6/6 Sharp Tactician, but there's no more potential angles for an Overwhelm kill, which that was
Mhm.
the main threat so far, especially only being at 2 life. If there was ever a mirror image off the top, which no longer works because there's no more text on the card. If there a Twilight Hunt would still be lethal because that would give it a new instance of no,
Right.
it would not give it a new instance of Overwhelm because that's part of Derry Cathane. It
Right.
gets overwhelmed from the ultimate.
Yep. But an enforcer off the top, now threatening lethal in the air.
Yep,
Okay, silence Derry and trades
Jadehorn gonna
off.
be able to stop it for 1 turn, and then
Right.
Jadehorn gonna be able to stop it again the other turn because you can pay the 6 mana to activate your Jadehorn on the table, and
Right.
then play the Jadehorn in your hand,
Right.
but not gonna have a whole lot of damage to go through with that though. 5, not 6, my mistake. But still, that's all you're doing this turn if you choose to do it. But you have to, more or
Yes.
less. Phoenix not getting anything off the top though.
Yeah, it's several turns of Phoenix just kind of breaking, but okay, so here's another Jadehorn armor gain.
Yep, gonna be able to survive this 1 turn, but without being able to double spell, there's no clock behind it.
Yeah,
Stufir still needs to top deck something and is just
misses.
dead.
Yeah, that enforcer just got there, even with Phoenix strong pretty poorly down the stretch.
Yeah, Phoenix up a game, and more importantly, something we did not talk about at the start, Phoenix also in the race to
Mhm.
claim their spot in the Invitational. Phoenix actually 7th place on the leaderboard right now, excluding the people who have already qualified who are higher up. So he currently, as it stands, Phoenix would be the 7th of 7 to qualify, and is
Mm.
currently gaining points every time. From this point on, each match win is 1 more point, and that's just going to very much help to increase Phoenix's standings in here, especially because Stormguard and Martin both, actually, who are in this top 8, are 8th and 9th right behind him.
Wow. So basically, a race to the last spot in the Invitational.
Oh yeah, it's very much a very tight game right now with the 3 people at the tail end all here. One in 7th, the others right behind. And on top of that, there's also the obvious whoever wins this does qualify for the Invitational, no matter what.
Very nice.
Which also has the potential to shake things up because if Phoenix were to win this, it not only takes Phoenix off the leaderboard essentially because they would no longer be playing for leaderboard points, they just have their invitational. So that would actually free up a spot for Martin or Stormguard. And the other one could then, say, for example, Martin gets knocked out here and Stormguard makes it to the finals but loses to Phoenix. Phoenix and Stormguard and Martin would then all qualify. And
Wow.
then would knock out somebody else like the Bergand or Derek Davis, who are sitting right there on that bubble.
Wow. So just plenty of people for that one spot. Meanwhile, Phoenix, pretty decent hand. Turn 2 Plunk with what looks like no Lunar Claw to deal with the Plunk. So Plunk is so safe.
Plunk, very safe at the moment, especially being a bit choked on power. Does have the Styre's Eyes, though. Can choose to get a Justice Sigil.
What? What are you pitching for Thufir? Oh my gosh, pitching the Tavrod. Oof.
Yeah, as much as it does hurt to pitch Tavrod, I do think that's probably correct. The Slay, the interaction in a matchup like this is just so critical. The Sharp Tacticians, for the same reason, are just too invaluable to hit. And the Gift of the Auric Bank, generating 2 blockers and pumping up everything else on your board, likely going to be more impactful than the Tavrod, because the card
Fair enough.
advantage is the card advantage less impactful than impacting the board meaningfully in a matchup like this.
Fair enough. Okay, well, Plunk versus a 2-2. Evolution of the Plunk. Get in there. Probably don't see the contract this time around. Okay, Derry Cathane going to pop up that Slay cost by 1. Nevertheless, Thufir hits that fourth power in stride. Have to imagine Sharp Tactician comes down here.
Yeah, silencing that Dairy Cathane or even popping the Aegis still potentially big. Uh, with one accelerated evolution in the yard already, you know they're guaranteed to have the other to turn on Dairy. However, turning on Dairy would require them to spend 2 power, so couldn't activate that turn.
Right.
Choose to hold up the Slay, though.
Okay. Swinging with a plunk. Uh, hmm. Oh, so Phoenix missed on power this turn. So it would be a good idea. It would be worth considering to.
Yep, wanting to mirror image that Plunk makes sense.
Okay, plunk is so safe times 2.
Yep, mirror
Put in
imaging
there.
Dairy Cathane obviously would just lose to the Slay. You would slay the Dairy
Yeah.
Cathane, and then you'd be very sad.
Okay, so Slay just used to pop the Aegis and oh, a hidden Garrot. That's a
Very,
pretty nice pickup.
very nice pickup indeed. The Sharp Tactician going to be the play, though. Plunk coming down out of the air. Sharp Tactician being an 8/8 as it
Yep,
gets the flying, the Aegis, and the Valor.
of Valor. Yeah.
And oh, this is a very awkward turn for Phoenix with missing on power again.
Okay, so what are we doing now? Okay, we are reflying the plunk, going into the market for mystical shackles. Is it
Yep, Mystical Shackles the pickup, probably just trying to clear the way in the air. As we're looking very close to a lethal attack. But after
Yep.
the Garrote comes down, gonna help to prevent that a bit.
Okay? 2 power left.
2 power left, probably gonna just set up the Styre's Eyes.
Do we see the Crown Watch tactic on the Sharp Tactician?
Crown Watch tactic, I think, I would say yes. I would think you want to discard, yeah. Gift of the Auric Banker Tavrod. I'm a little no, I think Tavrod is probably better in this scenario because the 3/2s are not going to be as impactful now that you know the shape of the board.
Right.
And so just having the 5 attack unit in Tavrod to help close out this game quickly is very impactful. But being back up at 17 is very big.
This is definitely true. Okay, we are eating the Sharp Tactician, trading the plunk in for a Styre's Eyes.
Just trying to clear the way. And very awkward right now. Can Sharp Tactician to silence Derry, but no keywords on it at the moment means that it's just going to be a 2/2 afterward. Might want to wait for Phoenix to commit their mana before trying to silence it.
Mm-hmm. Could go for the hidden Garrot play. Tavrod's still stuck. Okay, Sharp Tactician
Chooses
comes
to be
out.
proactive. Yeah.
Neuters Derry, okay. When
Even
wow,
without
another miss on power from Phoenix. Wow, so last game flooding, this game absolutely choked. On average, Phoenix is drawing perfectly.
yeah. Even with what I just said about the Sharp Tactician, I still don't hate playing it now because otherwise you really aren't doing anything with your power.
Right. What's better than doing nothing? Well, doing something, all other things considered. Okay, so this Garrot can just come out and go face.
And then Jadehorn next turn means that you can take out the Derry Cathane that is yet to have been, or the Derry Cathane is not silenced. However, that wouldn't be the case if Phoenix chooses to activate Derry.
Right.
I still think you want to Garrote here. If Phoenix activates Dairy and attacks, you trade 2 for 1, but you have the Garrote, and they've been
Yeah.
choked on power the entire game. They have more cards than they could ever play in hand. Yeah, I like this.
Once again, Phoenix missing on power.
The dinosaur roll, however, punishing Thufir as could activate and just attack, and you lose the Garrote no matter what.
I think that's the play.
You could also choose to slow roll it. Given that you have more cards in hand, and given that there's the Garrote actually is a very big clock, though. I think. No, I have convinced myself. I think I do agree. I think just activating Dairy and taking away the Garrote is just what you have to do.
Okay. Does not do anything though.
Disagrees with me. Setting up for next turn. Can Tavrod and can Jadehorn right now.
Yeah,
See,
I mean, oh, so the Jadehorn means that Garat goes face twice.
yeah, yep. The
So
Jadehorn.
therefore, the Dairy can't attack unless the Enforcer comes out to silence the Styre's Eyes. And even then,
Yeah, if the Jadehorn comes out, Garrote goes face twice. Phoenix goes down to 1. If Dairy Cathane activates, then you just block and kill Phoenix on the crackback with your Garrote. So you have to do something else. The Valk Enforcer silences the Styre's Eyes, but Garrote would have 4 armor after that because of the Jadehorn.
well, there's a nice grab. So pop up the little 1/1, double block the Styre's Eyes.
Yep. Quirine Ascendant, definitely the play here. That's the real only way that you don't lose on the spot to this Jadehorn play. Although with the Styre's Eyes gone, you can now just activate Dairy that has flying and attack in.
Assuming Dairy survives.
Correct. There is the option to just send both at the Dairy, and I think given the composition of the board right now, that is probably what you want to be doing. Your Garrote survives even, but
No.
Thufir does not agree with me. Going face twice, Dairy cannot activate an attack here because if that were to happen, then you would die on the crackback because 2 blockers or 2 attackers and 2 blockers. Actually, you would not die on the crackback. Dinosaur
Yeah.
gets made.
Yep.
So when the dinosaur, when the
Okay.
dinosaur gets made, it gets 2 blockers.
Yeah. So Phoenix actually kind of in a decent spot. Can't be attacked, but turn passes. There's Tavrod. Enforcer's going to meet the Tavrod. But that's still a 5/7.
This is a very tightrope walk of a game. The Alessi also can potentially gain some more life to help even this situation up with the
This is
armor.
true, but there's a Tavrod to silence first.
Yes.
I think you send in the Kirin Ascendant. You don't hold the Life Stealer back to block. You need the life now.
Yeah.
So Derry can bounce the Jadehorn. The Enforcer can eat the Sharp Tactician. You can chump the Tavrod, but Relentless Gorehorn makes the math a lot more difficult now.
Yep.
Oh,
Gonna have to send 3 chumps underneath all of these, but no overwhelm and no card advantage from Tavrod critically after the silence means things are gonna be still salvageable after this attack.
right.
And dairy being bigger than that 4/4 is very relevant right now.
And Phoenix finding a critical fourth power, which will allow this Magniventress to come down, stun the Silenced Tavrod.
Yep, critically an undepleted fourth power as well in the Combre banner.
Right. I think the Magniventress has to be the play here. Unless the evolution leaves one power unspent, so that's what I like to call tempo leakage.
Mhm.
You don't want to be leaking tempo when you're at death's door. So I do think it's the Magniventress this turn. Gain one more life from the Ascendant. Pick up the Mastery.
Correct. And with the 3 armor plus the 1 life from the Ascendant, as long as you stun Tavrod, one attacker getting through is no longer lethal, which really frees things up on your end, even though you have 2 good blocks, depending on what happens here from Thufir's side, obviously. However, the power coming out...
And Phoenix is a lot more in the clear.
Yeah, Phoenix?
Okay, we're just popping up the... Is this lethal?
7,
Yeah,
9,
lethal.
yes! Phoenix
Wow.
cleaning this one up in very close fashion. Only
Very
2
tight play for
games.
Phoenix.
Two very good games.
Yep, condolences to ThufirHawat, but someone has to move on.
Yep, Thufir, unfortunately, out of the top 8 and out of the race for the Invitational, as not enough points from them to be anywhere close to the top of the leaderboards. Needed this win.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and a win from Phoenix, though, almost locks them for that Invitational. As well as we head on over to Jez and Bergund? Beowulf.
Hmm.
Jez and Beowulf. And Jez, very critically, locked as well for the Invitational. Jez currently 4th out of 7 on the leaderboards and has only played in 4 events, as I mentioned earlier in the tournament. So every win that they've had this time is just another point for them, and they are going to skyrocket to the top after this.
Hmm.
Beowulf, though, not in the race, and needs this win in the entire tournament if they want to qualify for the Invitational.
Fair enough.
Yep. Jez indeed almost assuredly going to be first after this tournament on the leaderboards.
Right now, Jez, I don't want to say under a lot of pressure because 1-2 blocks 1-1s on the ground. Contra comes out. Okay, there's 2 duels.
Get some very good power there. Thinking on the Xenon Tome would guarantee the 8th power for Vara in 2 turns.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely top it. You're not at risk of dying in the very near future, so just set up for Vara and just take it easy, slow roll it.
Yep, and double market access in Beowulf's hand right now, as it would appear we are in game 3, by the way, so very critical game. So I am curious what Beowulf has access to in the market. Looks like Eavesdrop is the best thing that Beowulf could have access to in the market for this given situation. No real rush to play it out now, previously to the Stormguard Reanimator matchup from earlier. The dynamic really is, can Vara come down next turn? Yes, I probably need to deal with with their Void. No, I have some.
Right. Okay, so Koch are going to tick up again.
Katra at an 11-9. Tazbu, though, with Deadly, is gonna be able to block for the Sendin Agent, obviously.
Yep. Get the Tazba out of here. Swing in with this 11-9 Katra. Okay.
That is a
Vikram.
good Vikram. Not gonna have the resources to play next turn because, like I mentioned previously, really does need to shadow etchings for eavesdrop right now. But Vikram on that 11-9 in just a little bit is going to be very powerful. Even more so if Vara comes down on 8 anyway, regardless of whether the Void gets taken. Actually, never mind, because Vara is being discarded right now because there are
Yep.
only 2 cards in hand for Jez. So Var is gone. The 8th power is gone, so another Var off the top is not live. And the Void is gone entirely. And at 22 life, Beowulf is in a very good position right now.
Yeah, that Vikram is suddenly very threatening.
Yep. And even then, their Rat King also is in play. So can just take the 11-9 and sacrifice it to make sure
Right.
absolutely no way it's coming back. Could also choose to keep it as an 11-9 though, as I don't believe there is a lot of ways out of Jez's list to remove the Vikram and punish.
Yeah.
Vikram is the only main deck way that I can see.
Yeah, that eavesdrop was just everything. Okay, well, this exploit is a bit late.
Yeah, this exploit gonna be able to take something, but not a relevant something at this point in the match. Jez also, as you can see, holding on to the Swarfolk, likely to have a market out to something. Something like a Grasping at Shadows for something that gets dumped into his Void. Pale Rider's Timepiece, although I don't see how relevant that would be at this point.
Uh, Subversion of Nature, probably not the play anymore. Well,
Yeah,
actually,
Subversion of Nature would be very relevant if it were castable.
yes, but it isn't.
Yeah, Katra, though, a decent pickup at stalling the game right now because the Sporfolk can come down, try to dump some more power into the Void,
And completely
but not
fails.
dump more power into the Void.
There is some residual power left, I think. Nope.
It's like, nope. Yeah, no power left in that Void after it was stolen. So this is a very big attack coming out from Beowulf, going to force at least a chump on the 12-10. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 6. So is going to have to jump another one as well just to survive. And can even choose to Nihit's Faithful the 12-9 now if they want to. But this game looks like it is just about closed out for Beowulf.
Yeah. That eavesdrop was brutal. Oh, it just sacrifices the.
Sacrifice the Spitling. There you go.
Good
Doesn't
enough.
want to give them another draw step, and rightly so. Beowulf taking the match down. Jez still guaranteed locked for the Invitational just based on the raw leaderboard points alone. However, Beowulf one step closer to a potential invitation as, like I mentioned, they do need the win if they want to qualify.
Hmm.
All right, and that is also end of the round. Do we know who won in the other matches? We did not see them. And there's the bracket. So almost taking down Apple Chips. Surprising there to me But that match very much two ships passing the night kind of thing. And I guess almost just passed better. And Martin taking down Stormguard. So Stormguard did gain 1 extra point for the leaderboard. But Martin critically gained 2 so far from beating Stormguard, and any other win is just going to propel him further ahead of Stormguard. So very, very critical matches happening, actually. The Martin versus Stormguard. Whoever won that was likely to beat the other one out of the top 8 finish. And with Phoenix winning as well, there is the potential that Phoenix wins the tournament, and Martin and Stormguard could potentially both be higher up, because the Burgund, who would then be the tail end, I don't believe was collecting points off of this one from their finish not having top 8'd. So there's still a chance for every player that made the top 8, but we will see.